controls 50% of it. And we need to get back to individual ownership of health insurance in this country, not this horrendous employer-based system. Only 8% of the country own their own insurance. That is a bad place to be. Get back to individual ownership of health insurance. Get the government out of it. You should be able, everybody in here probably has a complaint about your health insurance. Almost nobody probably has a complaint about your car insurance. Why? Because there's almost no government in car insurance, and they just own the health insurance industry. I have to have coverage for pregnancy. There you go. That's what the government planned. Spending. If we don't stop spending, none of this matters because the dollar is going away. That they can, even with a straight face, spend over $1 trillion in a year more than they take in is unbelievable. That $1 trillion is such a huge number, they're doing it yearly now. And as I said, by 2020, we'll be borrowing money to pay the interest on our debt. It's over. It's absolutely over. We need to elect people who will treat the American people like adults, talk about the problems, and solve the problems and make the hard choices because the money's all gone. There's not enough money for a box of Kleenex right now in this government. It's all gone. Even if you like some of these programs, it's gone. There's no money left. They've literally spent it all. So, Obamacare, the spending, and the border. You must protect Americans, meaning build a double-layer fence first, second, and third. Build it now because people are dying in this country, and they use politicians' words like comprehensive immigration reform. Ma'am?
What are your stand on Social Security and Congress putting the IOUs in it, and you don't get a raise? Because we're widows.
She asked what my stance was on Social Security and Congress putting the IOUs on it. Look, I don't even think they're putting IOUs in it anymore. I think now they're just putting fairy dust in that thing. Look, Social Security is completely broke. $10 trillion in debt, they've spent all the money on it, and they act as if they can't solve that problem either. They can't. Paul Ryan has a great plan on it that guarantees the benefits for those who are already on it, including those that are 55 and up and coming on it, while giving the future generations opt-outs, privatization. It is the only solution for this country. It is the only solution. Anything else is simply not going to work because all the money's gone. And Social Security is actually in better shape than Medicare. That's $90 trillion in unfunded liability. They have spent it all. And so when someone asks what your position is on Social Security, anyone that doesn't say reform it is lying to your face because all the money's gone. It's all gone. Our entire budget right now, the entire budget, every dime, is Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. That takes up every dime our government takes in, meaning military, national defense, everything else is money borrowed from China.
I know.
That's trouble. That's trouble. So, ma'am, in the back?
When you are elected and go to Washington, you will be basically a new kid on the block.
Yes, ma'am.
What can you do as a new kid on the block to pull these people in to what you want to do?
She asked about what you can do as a new congressman, being the new kid on the block. What can you do to pull people together and whatnot? Look, if I'm the only conservative elected in 2010, it's over. It's over because Congress is all about blocks. It's all about voting blocks and how many people are in yours. The good news is I'm not going to be. So the question is, what can we do? Because there's a lot of great conservatives that are running for Congress and winning races across this country right now. What's going to happen? We're going to come in with a block of people who are tired of the way they've done things. And as a result, leadership, Republican leadership, they have to listen to you. Because it's not leadership that controls the direction of the party or controls the legislation. It is he who controls the most votes. And that's what matters. Getting enough conservative votes to, quite frankly, swing your club around. That's what matters. Ma'am?
I am tired of hearing that Social Security is broke. If our past presidents hadn't taken it and used it for roads and floors and everything else, it would not be broke today. If they would take that money and put it back in the fund, it would be lucrative.
Well, if a lot of things, ma'am, but they did. You're right.
But it was supposed to be a borrow.
If the last 10, 20 presidents hadn't bankrupted at all, we'd be fine. But they did.
But it was supposed to be a borrow.
It was supposed to be a lot of things. Medicare and Medicaid were supposed to be different. Social Security was supposed to be different. The post office was supposed to function. It's bankrupt. The DMV was supposed to be different. This government was supposed to be limited, and now they tell you how much salt you can have in your diet. A lot of things were supposed to be. What is? And what is we have a government that's broken out of control. That is what is. Is that the way it was supposed to be? No. And is that a great lot in life that we have? No. But guess what? That's our lot, and we got to fight it. It doesn't do us any good to cry in our Cheerios about it. We got a war to fight in this country, and that is the truth. Sir?
When the Republicans, or conservative, however you want to say it, take over the Congress again, does Nancy immediately put down her gavel and get the hell out of Dodge?
Yes.
Hopefully she won't make it back.
When the Republicans take over the Congress, does Nancy Pelosi immediately put down her gavel? Yes. The first vote you make in the House after swearing in January is for the Speaker of the House. And if it's Republican controlled, she's gone. She's gone. Have a good day.
Jesse, you take some pizza on the one. Jesse, you were in the military. I have two questions for you. Number one, where do you stand on bringing our troops home from Iraq and Afghanistan and all these other foreign countries? And where do you stand as far as putting our military on the border, armed military on the border to protect our border?
Let me answer your second one first, because this is a shorter answer. Until we get the double-layer fence built and get the Border Patrol on the border, put anyone and everyone on the border to protect American citizens. That is their job, absolutely. Until we get the fence built and the Border Patrol down there. But the Border Patrol are the ones trained to patrol the border. So once they can get down there, they're the ones we really want. Until then, absolutely put anyone you want. As far as Iraq and Afghanistan goes, we've won in Iraq and we are coming home. That is the truth. We're already proceeding out of it. We won. It's time to come home. Look, it's never going to be the stablest government in the world. It's a volatile area, volatile nation, but it's as good as it can get right now. Are we jamming out to some tunes in here? Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. The answer to Afghanistan, we can't lose in Afghanistan, and that is the truth. And it's nice for these politicians to sugarcoat it and bring the troops home, and it sounds really nice. Pakistan is fragile and nuclear, and they're right next door. If we leave Afghanistan now, their security forces are not strong enough. The Taliban will instantly take that country right back over. And that gentleman who just parked a truck with full of explosives in Times Square was trained by the Taliban. They will harbor terrorism again, more buildings will fall, and we'll be right back there. Where they're killing the top 5 members of Al-Qaeda almost monthly. We're taking out someone important now. The problem is we're not winning in Afghanistan. And it's not an accident that more troops have died under this president than under all the previous years. That's because he promptly got elected and tied their hands behind their back and kicked them to the wolves. We tell them they can't fire until fired upon, you can't engage at night, you can't do anything, and then we say, why aren't you winning the war? And plus we have a president who gives the enemy the deadline for when we're leaving. I've never heard of anything like that in my entire life. And he stands in front of West Point and says, I, 43 times, and doesn't say win or victory once. We're trying to lose in Afghanistan right now, and we are losing. And quite frankly, if this is the way we're going to conduct the war, we might as well come home, but we need to stay there and win. We need to win. And if we went all in now, meaning give them the manpower, the resources, and the rules of engagement we need, we can win and come home. And victory there is simply building up the security forces so the Taliban will not wipe them out the second we leave and then come home. It is counterinsurgency operations. And it's not an option to lose. It's just not.
Wait a minute, Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Those countries have been fighting for 2,000 years.
Yes, sir.
And we're not going to resolve nothing. We need to pull all our troops home from around the world and defend this country. We can badmouth Mexico all we want, but their constitution does not allow their troops to go overseas in combat. They don't have anybody bombing them or invading them. So the faster we get out of that part of the world, the better off we're going to be, and let them keep on fighting like they have for the last 200 years.
Well, as you know, I do disagree with you, sir, because eventually, as we found out on September 11th, they come here. This,
They will
this-
bring that fight right here.
This
Yeah,
thought,
they
and believe me, I've seen it with my own eyes. This thought that we can just pull them all home, hide in America, and hey, we're just fine, just leave them to their own. There is a segment of this world's population that have made it their life's mission to kill every single American. That's every man.